A fragile thread, but we'll find strength. Let love spread, life's a climb. Just take a step, rise above. Find your breath in the darkness. We will find a shining light to free our mind. To free our mind. Self-growth blooms like petals bloom. Shedding tears will heal the wounds and the chaos. Let's find peace, embrace the pain. Let it release.
Relax your mind. It's divine time.
Hey, you good. I think you're stopping in. How is everybody doing today? Lex, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, cool. Mr. Signal, can you hear me?
No, I can't.
Right.
Yes, I can.
Try a little louder. Okay, can you hear me? Marco,
Hello.
can you hear me? All right. So, hi everybody. How y'all doing? We are now live on another episode of Divine Time. With that, I am your host, Dominique Divine. This is my lovely wife, my partner, Jade. Then we got Mr. Sigma Uno, and we've got Lexi, founder of Lexi Cal. Go ahead and give a little introduction about yourself. You are new to the platform. I want you to say a little something, okay?
Okay. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Hi, guys. I'm Alexis, founder of Lexical. What all you guys want to know? Just like, I'm a stay-at-home mom of 3. Let's see. I own Lexical. I have a bachelor's in psychology. I'm a healer. I make homemade soaps and I make lipsticks and lip glosses. And I just want to heal everybody one product at a time. So nice to meet everybody.
Love it.
I love a good lip gloss.
Back
in the 90s, okay? Yes.
I got you.
Good.
I got you.
I got her website saved on my phone today. All right. So with this, tonight's episode is going to be what is white material. Just like last week, I'm gonna jump straight into it. So with
Okay.
it, you are the newest individual on here, so I'm gonna ask you first. What
Okay.
white material means to you, Lexi?
Okay, white material means to me someone who is devoted, someone who is loyal, someone who actually wants to do it. I mean, to be a wife, you have to want to do it. I mean, you can't just hop in there and be like, hey, you, it takes work. You actually have to want to do it. I've been married for about 16 years. So yeah, I got married young. So yeah, so
You still are young.
marriage takes a lot of work, huh?
I said you still are young.
Yeah, I am young, kind of infinite. But marriage takes work. I feel like woman has to be God fearing. You can't be selfish in it at all, because most of the time women have to be the one to sacrifice. When it comes to the children, career, and stuff like that. I can go on and on about that. I don't want to babble and take up all you guys' time, but I'm gonna stop it right there. I wait on you to ask me something else because I can go, I can go. So yeah, I just feel like marriage material is basically what it is. You just get in there and just don't be selfish. You put 100% in. It's not 50-50. It's 100. I feel like you have to communicate. It's a lot. I can go on and on. You're gonna have to stop me now. So yeah. So that's what it so that's what wife material is to me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, that was weird.
Oh, okay. I can see everybody now. I couldn't see nobody at
Yeah, I
first.
don't know what happened. I just got the circle of death and everything was like pink. I don't know
Oh,
what
okay. Did you hear anything?
then we got you until you said you're gonna cut it off right there. So,
Oh, okay. Well, I said a ton of stuff after that.
oh, you did?
Okay. I'm
Oh,
gonna
man.
stop it after that. I'll just wait till you ask me something else
No, yeah, I'm
because
going
I
to, I
can go.
gotta fix this real quick.
Yeah, I don't want to take up all the
I
time.
gotta bring Mr. Signal back up.
Okay.
There we go. All right, how you doing with Lovely Hill Elite? Ooh, all stiffy.
I'm okay. How are you guys?
Good. So with it, the topic is what is wife material? I'm gonna hear y'all point of views real quick, and then we're gonna dive a little deeper into it, right? So with you,
Okay, you guys can finish up. I'll follow. I'll listen and follow, and then I'll say what I need to say afterward.
okay, all right, cool. What is wife material mean to you?
To me, wife material would be being a partner and a friend and a confidant. You have to learn and win, pick and choose your battles.
Yeah.
And while it is easy to go where they went,
Mhm.
we have to be the calming and balancing factor to bring it in to get things put back together instead of falling into chaos.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's important to be the balancing factor for your partner. I'm gonna say partner.
Yeah.
It's pretty universal. You have to be willing to compromise, even on things that you feel like probably shouldn't be compromising on. You have to be humble on top of all of that. So you're not always going to be right. It's like your way of thinking isn't always going to be correct. Your fix to a problem may not actually be the actual fix to the problem.
Mhm.
So you have to be able to concede and take a step back and sometimes.
Well, how you looking at me like that?
No,
Am I missing out on the joke? Everybody laughing for me.
the women in the room get it. We all got it. We all got it. Look at all the small. Look, we all got it. The women in the room understand exactly what I'm talking
Mrs. Sigma, no?
All of the above. I'm going to say all of the above are true. And even if you know you're right, let it go. In the end, whatever you thought was right is what he's going to come up with in the first place, like it was his idea.
It's very difficult for me, the only man to sit through this
I
episode.
know. He gonna peek his head. That's why I said. That's why I asked. Can you see him? Because he gonna. And I'm yeah. So yeah, all of the above. Definitely to be able to make concession. Traditional roles are irrelevant at this point in juncture.
Mhm.
So don't cancel yourself out if you are longing to get married and you can't cook. Because some of the best chefs in the world are actually men. Don't count yourself out. Don't count yourself less. Don't count yourself any of those things, because there is definitely a partner out there for everybody, and even those that probably should not have partners are partnered. So
It is true.
Yeah.
so if you don't think you're wife material, think again. Nurturing is a traditional role. I know some women who are wonderful providers and are not the stay-at-home PTA type, and their household is functioning stellar. So there are no actual roles.
Mhm.
But again, to be able to make those concessions in a marriage go for both the husband and the wife. I'm missing a lot of things just because I'm kind of a traditional individual, but I do a lot of non-traditional things. So
Yeah.
anybody can be somebody's wife, because what's required for one person is not required for the next. What's needed for one is not needed for the next. What balances out an individual is not the same. So to be able to balance out whomever your partner is definitely key. Um, to know yourself is very important, because if you are a very argumentative individual, don't marry a lawyer. You, you guys will be arguing just to argue, and neither of you really wanted to argue, but it's a sport at that point. So definitely being able to know all of your good traits, bad traits, attributes, um, strong suits, your weaknesses is very important. Very important to be able to acknowledge your weaknesses, because your strengths are they're gonna just shine, right? But to be able to um, acknowledge what your weaknesses and flaws are, so that you can actually find a partner that suits you the best. Because what's going to suit you the best is going to be somebody who's going to undergird and strengthen where you are weak.
Okay, so you said strengthen where you are weak.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I know for me personally, I've been in I've been in a few relationships in the past.
That's why I'm here. You didn't block out my face.
I've been in a few relationships in the past, and with that, there has not been a lot of relationships where I can actually say I have a partner. So when it comes down to having a wife and actually having a partner, someone where I feel like, okay, we can actually do things together, we can actually grow together. It doesn't feel one-sided. I know last week, Mrs. Signal, when you brought it up about the bait and switch, and with that, pretty much how like women know how to get a man but can't keep a man, and kind of how men know how to hook them but can't really reel them in. Do you want to explain that just a wee bit more? Yeah. All right, bet. I'm gonna go and talk about it real quick before she come back. I'm about to get spit on by the ladies. So with that, when love healing leads, I want to hear from you. What do you feel is wife material in your own description?
For me, I think first is that um, to be wife material, I think it's important, first of all, for a woman to know who she is when it comes to standard value. Um, not so much only core belief, what she will accept, what she will not accept, how she carry herself, being educated. Um, I feel like everyone have different perspective on that. But as for me, a wife material is a woman that respect herself, that respect her partner, someone that understands the true meaning of a team player. Because when you with somebody, there's no I in team. And one of the ladies said something earlier. I agree with her. Things has to be 100. So I think that's why I think it's important for a woman to fully like be herself, knowing herself, loving herself, spending time with herself. Um, before she jump in a relationship, because so often we get in a relationship for the solely idea of having someone with us. We have not trying to be lonely, you know. Like some people, they leave one relationship to another relationship. Usually, those people have attachment issue. They have abandonment issue. I also think it's important to heal yourself. I think it's important for women to prioritize fitness and beauty and health. Beauty is different from everybody, but I think health is very important. What we eat, meaning also what we consume, like what we listen to, the type of music we listen to, the type of also sometimes the type of friends you have as well. Um, You have to be a person of accountability because if you're not a person of accountability, you're never gonna see growth. For me, I feel like nowadays relationships are overrated. That's just my opinion. Even though I'm a love person, I think there's a lot of games in those relationships. I feel like people are getting into relationships for the benefit of what they can get, not because they really want to love and build with someone. Um, I think you have to be selfful. You also have to have your cup full because it's not good to pour from your cup empty because when you do that, you get frustrated. You don't deliver things properly. It's good to have good, effective communication, meaning like communicate what you need to communicate, but also listen to the person, not to only reply, to comprehend. Class play a big part of it. So, um, what I can say, what else? Um, Also like having self control. In our community, the reason why I'm gonna do a podcast, they give me anxiety. A lot of people in our community give me anxiety. The reason so is because whether it's woman or male, they're too aggressive. Um, they're too aggressive. The swearing is too much. I don't know if it's because I'm mixed or I'm a business person or this is just the way I was raised, but that's my standard. Um, and I find like a lot of people, a woman has a lot of anger issue. I think they need to work on that department to find out what makes them so angry. So that way when they approach something, they don't have to make decision based on being impulsive. Uh, I'm gonna wrap it with this because I don't want to say too much because I'm more island than anything. And when I do speak, some people feel a certain way about things. Uh,
So Sheila Duncan,
Also,
with this, we speak. Speak your mind. Everybody who I have on here has emotional intelligence. You're not going to upset anybody. If we have further questions on anything, we ask questions rather than assume. All right. So I mean, if anybody
okay,
gets upset, it's yeah, they can say something in there, and we can have a discussion about that. But I mean, yeah, I don't think you'll say
okay.
anything that would be feeling.
I find a lot of women in our community extremely ghetto. Uh, I'm not sorry for saying that. Extremely ghetto. They try to match men's energy a lot. And if you're gonna be wifey material, you can't be too masculine. You can just reserve that in a case like you gotta protect your family, your men's not there or something like that. Um, you can't be too masculine if you wanna be a wifey material. You can't be too combative. You can't be like, oh, I don't have to listen to him because I'm grown. It's not gonna work with a real man, with a real alpha man, a real protector. He's not gonna stick around. Um, the way we like speak sometimes is horrible. It's horrible. Everything has to be a fight. Um, if you can be so like impulsive, what else? What can I say? And I don't think it's okay, no matter what a man do to you, okay, in a relationship, if you're pregnant to go have sex with another man. I think that's disgusting. And that's where I say class needs to be coming. But I'm sitting back, I'm seeing a lot of women in the community thinking that's okay. It's not okay. Because it's not a disrespect to the men, it's a disrespect out of order. If my sister did that, I would beat her ass. With my sister in her. Um, I think also women try to match men energy too much. Ladies, you can't do what men do. I know it's called double standard. It's never gonna be okay to do what they do. That's just what things is. That's just how things go, and that's just how it's always gonna be. Um, you can't if you're a man, you deal with a guy like you sleep with your
Oh, if she throws on that.
disgusting. And don't believe the hype where you think men don't like hoes, men don't like men don't like hoes, men don't like BBLs. They don't like that. They just like to play with hoes. They like to. You know, they really don't. They don't want to keep that. So y'all wasting your money doing all that stuff. Y'all not doing it for men because they don't like that. Y'all doing it to compete with women. And if you're
I
gonna be
want
white
to
material, you need to be confident.
touch a little bit on which some
Huh?
things that you just. I said I want to touch a little bit on some things that you just mentioned. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I work with a lot of men on my most of my business partner. Huh?
Can
I
you
hear
hear
you
me?
far.
Leslie, you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, all right,
Yes.
cool. What I was saying was I want to touch on a couple things that you just mentioned. The first one about a lot of women in our community being ghetto, and then Mr. Sigmund was like, "Oh, she ratchet."
Flat out ratchet.
So with that, the I understand a lot of what you're saying. There are some men who seek that. They seek that ghettoness. They seek that type of woman, depending on where they're from. Like for
Only
example,
for temporary. That's nothing permanent. No man wants that.
Yeah. Temporary. That's right.
No
Nothing
man wants
permanent.
that permanent.
I was like, there's a saying, it's fun for a night, but not fun for life. So I mean,
Not even the whole night. You got to go before the sun comes up.
yeah. So I mean, that's something that gets me. There's a lot of women these days that honestly I can't really put them in the category as women. There's a lot of girls these days who are on like social media with their whole body exposed, and they're expecting to find like a good man, and then they're wondering why the only things that's happening is they're getting ran through by other men, just back to back to back, and it's like, okay, cool. I personally do not understand how you can have women out here looking like that, expecting that somebody's gonna want them. But I feel like a lot of the men who are looking for a wife who has that white material, things that can actually
When they're
that
going
they can
through,
bring home to mother, and with that, they don't want a woman that they want to call their own that literally everybody has seen, you know.
Right.
but that doesn't stop them from look. There's a market for it because there's somebody out there buying it. There's nothing that's on the market that somebody isn't buying. So if men don't want ratchet, then they stop shopping ratchet, then ratchet will cease. Right?
They have made it a culture though.
Again, if they stop seeking ratchet because they don't want ratchet, right? If they stop going out there and playing house with individuals temporarily, I want to be temporarily ratchet for a night. Well, guess what? I don't want nobody who's been with a bunch of ratchet chicks either. I don't care what your past is. Your past is equally weighted as mine.
Mm-hmm.
If you was a hoe, you cannot turn a hoe into a housewife. You cannot turn a hoe into a husband. You cannot do it. Just look, the fact. No, you can't turn him into a husband. Look, it goes both ways. It's funny that the guys say that, but they're the first ones out of the club trying to figure out who they can take home, right? Mm-hmm. When girls dress up to go to the club, they dress up to do exactly that, right? If you notice, if you go to a club, there's a group of girls that have absolutely nothing on. There's a group of girls that are dressed with some class, right? If you're dressed with some class, 8 times out of 10 are not going home with you. They're there for a different purpose. I personally believe that the club is the wrong place to meet an individual, right? Because you go out to the club with whatever facade that you're going to put out there to begin with, right? I'm not trying to date a facade. I'm not trying to marry a facade. I'm not trying to have a future with a facade. So, yeah, the club is a masquerade ball, okay? So, no.
Can I just add to that?
Day makeup, okay? Night makeup is way thicker. And it's waterproof. You know what I'm saying? That wig is extra tight. You can't tell it's lifting in the dark. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I grew up in a generation, okay, to where the women in my family were dressed, they were all that stuff was done, and they were cooking breakfast by the time their husband got up. Knew what it looked like without makeup and had never seen her in rollers. He's seen her in a bonnet. He didn't know what was in it, and he did not look. If you go out there with makeup, I'm going to the club, ratchet chick I'm gonna go home with, then that's what you're doing. Don't be trying to hold a double standard talking about women are ratchet just to be ratchet. No, there's a market for ratchet because you guys are not there suck ratchet. If a woman was ratchet and she was basically stonewalled, like nobody wants to deal with that, and she was ignored, there'd be a lot less ratchet. Just period. Period. Now, what I don't understand is women have pretty much made it clear things that they are not willing to accept in their life. And I don't know if it was because a facade was put up at first or not, but dealing with traits and attributes from individuals that is not becoming of themselves. You and staying in these relationships where he hits me because he loves me. No, sweetie, you didn't like it. Your mother got hit. So
Amen.
it wasn't okay for her. All of a sudden, it's okay for myself anymore. You saw it before and it wasn't okay then. Just because it's now you does not make it okay now. You need to move on. There are things that are just not acceptable. It's about having standards for yourself. What I find really crazy is when you are raised in a household with both mom and dad, whether it's functional or dysfunctional. You see traits in your parents that I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, I don't want to have this, I don't want to have that. So you go out there with the idea of I want my life to be a certain way, right? Somewhere in there, life is life in, and you start compromising stuff and you go with what's comfortable because not because you should have it, by no means, but because you pretty much you can write the story, you know what's going to happen, right? Mm-hmm. That's not a lie. That's settling. Nobody should ever marry somebody in a settlement. That's the rest of your life you're settling on. Marriage and partnerships, as far as life partnerships, are not temporary. In fact, I would admonish a person to, if you just have to have a wedding, get your little marriage certificate. You can get the state involved if you want to. That's cool, fine, well, and dandy. Sit down with the individual that you are going to be a life partner with and literally draw up a contract of what you feel is acceptable and what's not acceptable and the consequences to all this unacceptable things that you know are unacceptable in your life. Mind you, we're not talking divorce. We're talking about this is not acceptable. This is going to transpire. You know, this. You have to have open communication for that to happen. If you know, and if you're open to communicate enough, if your partner comes from a household where there was abuse or whatever, and they still haven't really healed from that, but they can acknowledge that, just know I'm not going to be the one that's going to beat on you, and I'm not going to use you physically to that extent. However, I am going to be the one to help you through that if I'm capable, and if I'm not capable, I'd be willing to support you in getting the help to heal that. Because everybody that gets into relationships is not healed from everything. It would be nice to be a perfectly healed person. You never get a perfectly healed person. There's always something that even if they feel that they are healed from that situation, there's always something that's going to trigger a response based on something that has happened in the past, right? Okay. So you have to be able to communicate and work through those things. Meaning, if we are, Lord forbid, we hooked up in the club and we're deciding here 3-4 months down the line that we're going to have a future together. I want to hear your life story from the time you remember to the time you graduated from high school. I want to hear what happened to you, what made you who you are. Family, lifestyle, whatever that is. Because if you're comfortable in a certain lifestyle, and where you are now is where you're comfortable and you're not willing to grow past that, we can't have a functional partnership, because a partnership is never something that comes together to stay in one place.
Thank you.
You don't partner with somebody to stay in one place. You partner with somebody to go somewhere, to do something, to accomplish something together. May it be a household, a family, a business. And I say it, and most people don't like it, but your marriage, your partnership is a business. Inventory needs to be taken before you open for business, so you know what you're working with. You need to know what you need to have in order to get to where you're trying to go. And you need to know who's got the strong suits to pull whatever piece of that load that's going to work as far as your relationship and household is concerned. If I know that I am not what did they say? Vanessa Del Rio, Betty Crocker, and what's her name? Claire Huxtable, all wrapped into one. No, we're gonna stick with all. We're gonna stick with. Can we not?
There you go.
So what we saying is Martha recovered. Come on now. Look.
Hey, look.
Stop.
See,
so
now. I'm gonna pause you real quick. I want to do this podcast more like a conversation. So if there's anything that y'all want to say or add on, by all means,
jump in.
Jump in. Right. So I mean, y'all need to sit there and wait.
Okay, yeah, I'll just sit there and wait.
This is not the therapy. Sit here and ask y'all 51 questions. Y'all want to speak?
Yeah, okay. So guys, it's so ironic. It's so ironic how everybody talks about, meet in the club. I met my husband in the club. I guess I'm one of many. I guess I'm like a dancer at heart, yeah. I'm a dancer at heart, so I would be at the club.
Oh, most definitely. Don't think I didn't drop it like it's hot in my time.
Oh my God, too much information.
But I had on clothes.
Like the way that everybody dresses now, I feel like that was
no.
Like, the way that everybody dresses now, I feel like that was considered like cooker outfits back in your day.
No.
No, see, that's generation. I'm ready for
but I'm gonna say this, and your wife can attest to this. Okay? If you have a certain presence as a person who is who you are, right? If you're ratchet, it doesn't matter what you have on, you will present as ratchet. No matter how much clothes you have on, no matter how curly your wig is, how well it's glued down. Ratchet is in your vocabulary or lack thereof.
Yes,
okay, I had this dress that I loved. Okay, mind you, the pastor's daughter, the bishop's granddaughter, on both sides. Okay,
yes.
And I was the first Baptist. No, it's not the red one.
Oh, not the red one?
Not
the blue one.
No, sir, not the blue one. Do you remember the white lace dress with the fringes? Yes. Yes, given that 1920s spaghetti strap / Tina Turner with the legs and all of that. Yes. Okay. So mind you, that's the dress. Put me in that dress, it's one thing. Okay. Put Ratchet in that dress, it's something completely different. Ratchet's gonna wear that dress without tape, without drawers, I mean, come on now. So Ratchet does as Ratchet does. Look, man.
I'm sorry, I used to do security in clubs. I got stories on the type of things that be happening. Girls dancing on the floor, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, that's got a string on it.
That's nasty.
You was there that night. I was like, oh my God. So that right there. So any man who might climb back to material, I challenge you to appeal.
I challenge you to heal. So it's not that it's not possible. The reality of the situation is the person presents themselves how they are. You go to the club, you can attempt to go to the club. I can't do it. Let P. Daddy Kane come up to me and start talking stupid, and I test him out 6 different languages. So, look, you can meet them wherever you meet them, but if you're going to start a life with them, your life is not the club. You guys might go out to the club on date nights. You guys might go out to dinner on date nights, whatever that looks like. But your relationship is not a club relationship. You had a conversation after that. You got to know the person after that. That's where you met them. But there is very few cases that the person you meet in the club is the person that you married.
True.
They cannot right now be the same person that you met in the club.
So I wanna ask a question. I wanna roll this thing staying on topic for what is right material. Lexi, go ahead and give us a breakdown of how you met your husband and what you do that you feel that makes you the perfect wife material for him?
Okay, I met my husband at a club.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
So yes, I
You
did.
got
I
you
met
can
my
put it in
husband.
And
I,
that's the
I,
thing.
I met my husband at a club. Yeah, I'm one of the one of few, that actually meet, at a club. But I did turn him down a couple times, at the club. You know, so yeah, I met him at the club. Yeah, I did. We met on the dance floor. We met on the dance floor. You know, it was back when. By the time I met my husband, I had already let's see, graduated high school. I had moved to I'm from Arkansas, y'all. So when I graduated high school, I moved to San Francisco. I took a medical assisting there. There was before medical assisting was even in Arkansas. California is like years ahead, than little states like that. But yeah, by the time I met him, I was already, had been to California and back, working as a medical assistant. So yeah, I did. I met him at the club. We dated for about. Well, he was there. My husband was actually born in Germany. His parents military. My parents is military. Somehow we met in Arkansas at the club. Um,
Oh my God, the story is starting to sound way too
Sounds so
familiar.
familiar.
Sound way too
yeah.
familiar.
Yeah, so we met at the club. So shortly after that, we dated for about a year. And then we moved in with each other. I was already working as a medical assistant. He was in school at the time, for accounting. You see, we dated for about a year. We moved in together, lived together for about a year. He joined the military, the Air Force. We moved from Arkansas to Louisiana. Um, Let me see. We are complete opposites, all the way down to ice cream, all the way down to peanut butter and jelly. I mean, he likes Nutella. I like peanut butter and jelly. I'm into like entertainment, acting, stuff like that. He's not. If you didn't know him, you wouldn't even know he existed. He's like a ghost. He hates social media. He, we like complete opposites. That's why they say opposites attract. Opposites do
Oh
attract.
yeah.
He's everything I'm not. He's good with numbers. I'm not good with numbers. He's good with our finances, the money and stuff like that. I'm more like on the fashion side. I go out do the shopping, get the clothes, and decorate the house. You know, um, Stuff like
Hey,
that.
hey, calm down, calm down.
I'm the one that
Get the reading right now.
I'm the
No,
one that
get
that do
ready.
all the cooking and taking care of the kids and stuff like that. He's working outside of the house. And stuff like that. I grow plants. I grow our own food here. I'm like a DIY person. I do like everything myself.
Mhm.
Um, and he kind of supports that, because he works outside of the home. He'd rather just be working outside of the home.
Mhm.
Making sure we have everything I need. But when I tell you guys that we are complete opposites, we are complete opposites. Complete opposites. And it kind of works out for us, because like I said, he's everything I'm not, and I'm everything he's not.
That's
Even when it
exactly
comes down,
what
I'm
we
more
wanted to
like
hear.
Mhm.
I'm a Virgo. He's a Aquarius. So
Ooh, if you was about to say Pisces, I was like, ooh, these are very the same
close,
sign.
close, we're real close. But yeah, um
Mhm.
let me see. We how we met. We both was actually in a relationship and leaving. Out of a relationship. I was coming back. I'm from Arkansas. I was coming back home from San Francisco. It didn't work out with the person I was with. He was actually coming to Arkansas following a person. It didn't work out with them. So I guess that's kind of how we met. That's kind of how we connected. We had something in common to talk about. Far as that goes. And like 16, 17 years later, we see we got together around like the age, what I'm gonna say I'm early 20s.
Yeah.
We're like in our 40s now. We 41 now. So we've been together like quite some time. So when we got together, we didn't have any children. We moved together, let me see, like 4 years before we even had children. So we got a chance to enjoy each other a little bit, got all the clubbing, all this stuff out of the way, the traveling and all of that before the kids started. Um, And I was definitely into acting. Now, when I tell you guys that it's usually the woman that have to sacrifice, I was speaking for myself
Mhm.
because when we were living in Barksdale Air Force Base, we was living on the Air Force Base at the time, and I had got into acting. I'm talking about I was working as a background actress at the time, and my career was starting to climb. And let me see, I got pregnant. Okay, so I continued to do background acting until I was about 4 months pregnant, and then started having pregnancy complications, so I had to stay at home.
Yeah.
And so he was in the military at the time. He was in the Air Force. So he was still working, and then I was homebound. That's what started it back in 2012. So when I had my son, he ended up coming early. He ended up coming when 4 months early, the day I turned 6 months. My
Oh,
son decided he wanted to come. So yeah, so my son stayed in NICU about 4 months. 4 months, and then when he got out of NICU, he was a preemie, so he weighed 1 pound 5 ounces. Out of NICU, he was 4 pounds. So I had to stay at home with him and take care of him, you know, and that's how I ended up being the stay at home mom.
and I'm
And
wrong with that.
I had to sacrifice everything. My son was, kind of special needs, so that caused me to stay at home, and my husband continued to work, and it just worked out, for us that way. By the time he was big enough or old enough to go to daycare, I was like, nah, you
It's
know,
too late, yeah.
because all of his complications and all of his disabilities, I just
Yeah.
wasn't comfortable putting him into daycares or anything like that at the time. And he's about to be 12, and we had two more children, and I'm still like kind of at home. So it kind of forced me to start my own business, making my own products and stuff, because
Mhm.
due to my son's skin issues and stuff like that. So yeah, so I don't want to keep babbling.
No,
I know we
you
did
are, you
about
are
10
good. You are
minutes.
good. And what's the leash? You still there?
Yeah, so so out of the Air Force, we moved here to Florida. He decided he wanted to. He was working on the planes, so he decided he wanted to fly the planes. So we moved here to Florida. He went to Riddle, got his pilot's license. He got his
Mhm.
private, and now he's still in school, finishing up his commercial license. We've been in Florida for about 10 years now. Um, I don't know if we plan on staying here or not, but yeah, we've been here for about 10 years, and I am working. I'm in my office now. I don't know if I got this thing up, but I'm in my office now. He's at pilot school now. So yeah. So this is what we're doing, where we are right now.
So I have a
Um,
question
yeah, yeah.
for all the ladies. How important is it to stay active in doing something that you enjoy?
But you're breaking up. I can't hear you.
How, how important is it to stay active in doing and having a hobby when you are
Is it
married?
oh, it's very important. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's the reason why I had the children in the first place, because
Wait, what?
I needed I needed
What?
something.
He's like, you had something to do.
Like I needed something to do. Something to do. Like he was in the Air Force. I'm from Arkansas. Kind of sheltered and stuff like that. So when we moved to the Air Force base, I'm kind of like I will wait all day until he come home from work to go and get my nails done so he can go with me, or to the grocery store, so he can go with me. I was so like dependent on him. I did not want to go anywhere by myself or anything. And so I had to learn to get out of that. I had to find my own way, find my own thing to do. So that's kind of why I got into acting. I was like, okay, I got to do something. And I was also working as a medical assistant too. So when I went to California, I took up medical assisting. When I came back, I was working as a medical assistant and also doing the background acting thing at the same time. So I would work, there was something to do. But then I got a dog. I'm like, okay, I need,
The small
something
little
else.
one that you know.
Something else. What you say?
I said that small little one. The what is it, like a Pomeranian or Chihuahua?
Yes, the pop. Yeah, she's my third one. She's my
Okay.
third one. Yeah.
Okay.
So yes, I've always had a Pomeranian. I've always had the same kind of dog.
I
Yeah.
wanna ask when Love Hill Elite. Sorry to interrupt you real quick.
Are you good?
When it comes down to being in a relationship, how important is it to have a hobby? I know you spoke about that self love earlier when you said
Okay,
Don't just
I can't hear you.
you can't hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Oh, okay. Yeah, for me, I feel like it's very important because I'm an overthinker as well as an overachiever. So if
Mhm.
I'm not doing what I like, you're not gonna get the best version of me. I know a lot of mothers do have to sacrifice. I try to do my best as much as I sacrifice to still do something just for me, not for the husband or for the me it's very important because I will crash, I will get depressed. I'm very spontaneous and adventurous. I have to every year go. I know it's crazy skydiving. I'm Haitian, French, Dominican. So the French be kicking when it comes to having fun. I go jet skiing. I try to put my life. I stopped working 2 years ago because of that. Because I felt like I was giving the job my time, my dream, and I feel like my family wasn't getting the best thing that they needed. For me, it's extremely important, and also I think it's good to kind of work somehow. Like we all have dreams when we were little girls. I wanted to be a flight attendant when I was younger. When I found out I was pregnant in school, I was in flight attendant school. I was doing modeling at the time, so I decided that I wanted to be a mom at 19. So now I just went back to modeling at 35. So I don't think you should never. I just my advice. I don't think women should ever all the way give up in their dream. I think there's a time once the kids get a certain age, you can go back to it. Like she said, she do skin products, so she may do something like that to enjoy herself. But as for me, I have to go to the gym 3 times a week. It's like I have to do self care. I've been like this since I was younger, so I find a way to manage to schedule so I can do it. So now I don't work. I go when the kids are in school. So that way, when the kids come home, I have time for them. And I also think it's important, as much as we date our men, I think it's important to have a dating night at least once a month. And I also think it's important to have a date with your kids once a week. So you can just find out what's going on in the school, what kind of poison and their friends are telling them in their ears. Because I promise you, all the mistakes that I made when I was younger, was because my parent didn't make me feel comfortable and vulnerable enough to come to them. So I went with my friends and I ended up with the child at 19. The first time I had, you know what? Yeah. But it's very important.
No.
I don't negotiate self care. I don't negotiate my spa. I don't. They're going to grandma. I also have an emergency nanny. I have an emergency nanny because I'm doing modeling. I have 2 kids, so I get gigs. In case I get my gigs, I call my nanny. She come here. I have camera. She watch my children's, and then I go do what I need to do. Because mom can't be booked. Mom need a trust fund, and I need money for that. Mom need
Mhm.
insurance because we can't be GoFundMe when we die. I need money for that. Well, I need money for that. So I think it's important to still instill what we like and also the important things to make sure our family are stable. That makes sense.
I agree. You got anything here? You got anything to say?
Oh, we talking about
Good stuff.
Yes.
and keeping ourselves occupied.
Yes, ma'am.
Mhm. Oh yeah, it's necessary for y'all survival for us to keep ourselves occupied.
Life survival.
It is. It is. Because if we have nothing else to occupy our time, what are we gonna do? We're gonna bother you, be all of it, and y'all all of it.
Let's see.
Is the light frozen? Is it me?
Um, I think it's frozen. I think it's frozen. Can you hear me? I heard somebody.
I can hear you guys, but I can't hear the host and his wife.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, they're frozen.
They're frozen. They probably get a call or something.
Well, you guys shared some good stuff.
Yeah, you guys did too. You guys are very wise. I learn a lot.
Oh yeah,
You say
yeah.
you've been married for 16. What about the other lady? How long?
And I'm not sure how long she's been married.
It's
All I,
beautiful to have marriage, but it take works. It take a lot of works.
it does. It really does. Oh my goodness. I think I think being were designed to make us mad, you know?
Yeah. Like mine, I'm currently legally separated. I didn't want to get too much into it because I learned at
Yeah.
a young age how to love myself. I had to leave because it got abusive and nobody's putting their
Right.
hands on me and talking to
I
me
know that's
first.
right. Yes,
So
ma'am.
I was in there for 10 years. I have a daughter with him. And it's bad because I didn't want to do that. You know, like my
Mhm.
parents are still together, my grandparents died still together. So I'm
Yeah.
not used to a broken home, but he purposely like don't care and give my kids that. So I'm at a point where like I try to glance outside because I've been legally separated for 2 years.
Yeah.
That's nothing outside. You meet these guys today, they want to have sex tomorrow. Ew.
Yeah. You know,
They
these
want to
guys want these
house.
guys are sick.
I
There's
apologize.
nothing
Right?
outside.
Vibrating at such a high level, she just like cut out the Wi-Fi. So that it, you notice like both times she started speaking, everything just stopped.
Yeah, it's like it's like she's like an energy power or something.
She
She got
is,
weird.
yeah, she overloads and fixes brains every day. It's crazy.
That is a true statement.
Yeah. So I got anti back in.
That is such a true statement.
It's wild. I don't know what's up with them. They just
That's the energy I had when I had one.
what energy you have you got them? Oh, so that's what it's
My first one, I was high energy in school, from school to work, working 60 to 80 hours. Kid.
Mhm.
The other one, it was like
How long you been married, if you don't mind me asking?
retirement was in the near future.
Who?
I can't see her name.
Miss Sigmuna. How
How
long
long
have
you
you
been
been
mind me asking?
2 minutes. And I'm telling you, it's the longest 2 minutes of my life. I say 2 minutes, because you got to keep it new. Because if you say it's been
a lifetime?
a life, yeah, if you say it's been a lifetime, then it's been definitely a lifetime. I met Mr. Sigma Uno when I was 12.
Oh wow.
Oh,
And between the two of us at this point in our lives, we have one, two, four grown children. No, six grown children and four not grown children.
Okay.
Um, would I do it again? Oddly enough, I will. I will. It's different. There's some stumbling blocks that we kind of put in our own way. Um, some diehard hurdles. But yeah, we would make the necessary adjustments. Probably enough, I think we would make the same adjustments. And we would keep it pushing. So let's see. We met when I was 12, and he was what, 13, 14? He is now 50. So yes, up there. So it's been a long time in the making. This has been the longest baking pound cake I've ever made.
that is beautiful. I love you guys' sense of humor.
I have a question for you ladies. If you're talking, if I have all three of y'all in the same place in the room, speaking to a younger generation of women, what would you say to them?
Get your life. Get your whole life. What are you doing? Where did you come from? Where did you get your guidance and direction? Come here, baby. Let me help you.
I would tell them to go find themselves. I would tell them to go find themselves, get some therapy, go heal the trauma. I know a lot of them, their mama and daddy didn't love them. It shows too much. It's okay to go heal, even though healing journey is going to be a forever thing. It's infinite. You're always gonna work on yourself. Stop trying to go from one man to another man because all you're doing is collecting soul time. If you really, really, really want to find a man of value, they're not gonna be sleeping with you like that. A man of value is not currency, it's his mind. I need them to know that. And I also need them to put some fucking clothes on.
No.
Woo! Jesus. Hey, we're not terrible. That's the truth. That is the
Yeah,
truth.
because
You have
they're
no
looking
limited
old.
imagination.
They're looking
You don't
older
even
than
know
us.
what it's gonna be like being with you. I see all your goods.
Yeah.
All your goods. You know, went out and got a hippopotamus BBL on some chopstick legs. Trying to make it look attractive. You look crazy. You look crazy. Look, I'm gonna need you to be comfortable in your own skin. I'm gonna need you to work with what the Lord gave you. There are ways to make it work for you. If you want to, I don't care if you got to put on a body magic. Look, do what you got to do. Look, I am not body shaming by any stretch of the imagination. None, okay? Because I gave birth to my second child at 95 pounds, and I have been almost 3 or 4 times the woman that I was then to date, okay? I've gone through the gambit of sizes. One size does not fit all, honey. It does not. It does not. Just because they make it in your size does not mean you should wear it. That goes for the old lady, all the way down to that 2-year-old little girl. You got dressed like the hoochie. Ain't no look. Whew, Jesus. I have seen some atrocities. Just the cutest little kid, like the Ratchet Queen. Look. Just look. You cannot. Woo! If you are not comfortable in your own skin, your daughter is not going to be comfortable in her own skin. If you are not comfortable with yourself, you are going to raise question in your children, whether it be male or female, because you deposit, whether you're trying to or not. They go by what they see, not necessarily what they hear. Okay, they're emulating what they've seen. In relationships, you emulate what you see based on whether you wanted it or not. I'm either going to do what I saw, or I'm going to do the complete opposite of what I saw. I need you to be comfortable in your own skin, because doing all that extra, that is taking a risk on your own life that is completely unnecessary. You're going out of a country. You don't speak their language, but you want them to cut your body open, move one piece here to put it down here, or vice versa. You don't have the bone structure for it. You just saw it on somebody that we're not even going to name, who's not real, whose children I've heard and seen call them out on. You don't look good like that. If you have, if y'all, I don't know how
they go to other country because they can't do it here because the doctor would not give them a clearance, because the doctor have to due to health issues. So they go to third world country and end up like pieces of organs and die eventually and contaminated their body, because here the doctors here, they have to do clearance. The reason why I know that, I had a few friends colleagues from college, and they went to third world country. I don't talk to them no more, because you're not about to call me when your back, your foot, and everything falling, because I already told you that wasn't a good idea. The doctor told me that was a good idea.
For real.
So, yeah. But that's why they go to other countries, because they can pass the clearance. It's either their diet be too much, because they're drinking too much tequila and Hennessy. They have to run off cut on top of the JJ like they need to, and I'm done.
Hey,
Hold on,
hey,
hold
but
on,
see, but
hold
wait,
on,
see, you
hold
asked,
on,
but wait, sir,
hold on,
no, you asked what we would tell them. This is what we would tell them.
Pause. Hey, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to Mr. Impossible. We got a podcast called Talk That Crap. As of right now, I felt it was the perfect time to throw it in because right now they're talking that crap. So with that, if y'all get a chance, check it out on board. Impossible Talk That Crap. He's on YouTube. Type in Talk That Crap. He talks over a lot of esoteric knowledge. So if you are familiar with Utotis and Rotavis, you are familiar with higher conscious, 3D, all of that. He goes a lot deeper into it than I ever will be able, or that I can currently. I'm still reading. I'm trying to learn how to pass potatoes.
Bless your heart. But see, you asked what we would tell them. Now, this is what we would tell them collectively. When I said get your whole life, I mean get your whole life from your head to your toe. If your toenails curl back underneath your toe, then you need to do something about that, baby. You cannot have your toenails curling over the top of your sandals. That is not attractive. That can't be cute to you. It's not cute to anybody else.
Every time she chase after, I hear it.
Stop it. Sounding like her Pomeranian going across the kitchen floor. Look, I just look, and all wrapped into one, sweetie. If I have you in a room and it's just me and you, I'm going to talk to you just like I would talk to one of my children. I'm gonna need you to get your whole life together, and however I can assist you in that, I will do that. If you cannot, and you haven't got to the point where you can talk to your partner, future husband, current husband, with regards to things in your past that are past hurts that you need to heal from, let me lead you, get you on a path, the guidance to self-healing, because that will do nothing but better your relationship. Because at that point, if you are working on you, you will have the ability, when all is said and done, to communicate what it is that you need from your partner, or whatever that is. That is going to do nothing but not better yourself, but it's also going to better your relationship, whether you're in one now or not. I'm going to need you to think highly of yourself, internally and externally. Garbage in means garbage out. If you put garbage in yourself, there's nothing good that's going to come of that. You're putting carcinogens, you're putting hormones, you're putting, as if you aren't hormonal enough already, you're putting all that extra stuff in you. And what's going to come out is going to be the hodgepodge of what you put in there. I'm not saying you got to go 100% organic, because let's be realistic, a New York cheesecake sounds good any given Sunday. I need you to learn how to moderate yourself, to be able to control your own impulses, because if you are impulsive and you have no control over yourself, that gives somebody else control over you. Look, you can't control a child if you can't control yourself. You need to have self-control, some discipline, because if you run in the muck and you're expecting your 2-year-old to sit still and you out here running crazy, again, it's just not going to work. Did you say someone at a seminar?
Anyway, this is the lady. You can talk next.
I mean, because when it all comes down to it, you are in charge of your own happiness, right? That person that you've attached yourself to is just an extra. It's an added bonus to whatever. Because if you can't make yourself happy, you can't expect them to make you happy. There should be nothing that somebody else can do for you that can make you happier than you make yourself. Everything else is an added. It's just like the frosting on top of the cake or the strawberry sauce on that cheesecake. If you prefer cherries, by all means, that too. You have to be the foundation for your own happiness. You can't go into a relationship miserable, anxious, and sad and expect somebody else to fix all that. It's not their responsibility to fix you. It's your responsibility to fix you, and you've got to own that.
I had to learn that.
If that person, that's again communication, if that person is willing to help you along the way or support you along the way, that is a plus. But you'll never know that if you don't have it in you to have that conversation to communicate that. Whether you have it now or have it later, 15 years down the line, please, Lord, don't wait 15 years. Please be working on this in year one, if not before you meet this individual. Let you meet this individual while you're working on yourself, blowing off some steam at the club, or jumping out of a perfectly good plane, which I've done before, but once was enough. Thank you, Jesus. There is so much that you are doing to yourself right now that is unnecessary that you are going to have to undo. fun is fun and living life is living life, but you're going to have to learn really soon what's necessary and what is not necessary. Because a lot of stuff that you're doing, a lot of stuff that you're putting on yourself as an added weight is extra and it's unnecessary. Look, unless you plan on putting 2 hours of makeup on every single day for the rest of your life, I'm gonna need you to learn how to wash your face, keep it clear, so you don't have to worry about caking all that stuff on your face, because all that is a facade for you and the next person. So what happens if he falls in love with that 2.5 hours that you done put on your face, and you don't want to do that anymore? So for some people, that's a deal breaker, because now you're no longer the person that they married.
So I have a follow-on question. Matter of fact, Lexi, I want you to go ahead and chime in on that. For what would you say to the listeners? So, what would you say to any of listeners, the female listeners? Because the next question I'm going to roll into is going to be, what would you say to the men listeners?
Okay. What was the question? Because my phone died. I'm not sure what the question was.
Okay. Yeah, the wife was like, "Where'd you go?" I was like, "I don't know."
I'm sorry, guys.
The question is, what would you say to the female listeners?
In the female listeners?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, about the topic. Oh, okay, guys. Yes, I would say, be authentically yourself. Some of the topics that she was talking about, I had to learn, like finding your own self. Finding your own way. I definitely had to learn that. It took me years, to get to the place where I had to come into my own and learn my own way.
Yeah.
And sometimes in doing that, if let's just say, like, if a guy is used to you being so dependent on him, and then when you do start doing your own thing and learning your own way, he looking like, what you got going on here? Like, what's up with you? Because I'm not just following behind him or waiting on him all the time. I'm doing my own thing now. So, so I would tell, the any female listeners to find your own way, find it early. Find it early, find what you like to do and do it.
Okay. What about you? Anything you want to say to the female listeners? Without causing everything to glitch out?
Yeah.
I would say love yourself first. Love yourself, because I love me. I love me a lot.
Yes.
So you gotta learn to love you. Well, no, all the good things and the bad things. You can acknowledge the flaw, work towards fixing it, but don't beat yourself up over it. Because if you start wallowing in it, then it gets bigger. What you feed grows. If you start feeding your flaws, they will begin to grow and mutate into unsightly things. I would also say, more than loving yourself, would be finding your voice and not losing it.
Yeah.
Because when women tend to, I can say this from my own experience, tend to start losing their voice a little when it comes to compromising. And it is important for you to, like I said, pick your battles, but in picking your battles, don't lose your voice in the process. There are certain things you can't let slide. There are certain things that you can't allow to happen. And all it takes is for you to say so most of the time.
Yeah.
Another thing is your self-care, keeping yourself fit and healthy. It could be going to the gym, it could be doing yoga, it could be meal prepping, it could be doing whatever it is that you need to do to keep yourself right and healthy. And on top of that would be, go see your gynecologist. I wish I had a hand mic. Sis.
Bruh.
Let's be real. If you're gonna be out here living your best life, if you want to live that free lifestyle, hopping on whatever you hopping on, you need to go see your doctor. Go see your doctor. Keep it right. Keep it clean it properly.
We love you.
I got yoni soap for that too, and yoni oil.
No,
Don't check your piggy
y'all
bank.
said no. Y'all said no tonight. So with this, Lily, what would you want to say to any of the females listening when it comes down to being wife material? You hear me?
Um, I think one important last thing I would tell the woman is don't let society pressure you so you bust pipe, okay? Take your time, get your education. There's not an age limit to have babies. I'm so sick of people as soon as you're done with college. When you gonna get married? When you gonna be in a relationship? When you gonna have a baby? How about we learn to lead these kids, this generation coming up, on what marriage is the proper way, what being a parent is the proper way. I know not everybody believes in marriage, but raising children the proper way, not twerking in front of those little girls because we're only building a home. I'm just saying that's just the reality of life. Learning to teach our children boundaries as well. And I need parents to watch, ladies, if you have kids, I need you to watch your children playing with other children. Okay? I need you to do that. I don't care if it's cousins, they've been best friend, it's your best friend of kids. Kids are all-time high teaching kids bad things, okay? And lay low on the technology. Go meditate. Go read a book. Okay? But, like, drink some coffee. Let's start making some smoothie. Take some protein if you need to gain weight. You don't need to spend $1,000 million on BBLs. Take care of your body, and your body will take care of you. Okay, and all that liquor, ladies, all the tequila every day, you're killing your body.
Okay,
Okay,
not every
you're
day.
really. I need to smoke fruits. Smoke fruits. It's good for the downstairs. Okay, you need to eat more food than pick a walker inside of you. All right, drink your water. Water is really good. Women need that. We need that for the system that we have. And stop sleeping while you have your period with men. That's not good. It's not supposed to. You're vacation, self care, and self cleanse. Run a bubble bath. Talk to yourself if you have to. Again, ladies, meditate, please. Exercise. It don't have to be the gym. Take a walk once a day. 5 to 10 minute walk is good for us because the older we get, the more things happen if we're not taking care of our body like we're supposed to. What's gonna happen is we're not gonna be healthy. We're not gonna last 60. And you already see what's going on with all the food, all the fake food. All right.
Yes.
So let's take care of our body. Another thing is spend time with yourself. Like learn to spend time with yourself. You don't always have to be in somebody's face. You don't always have to be in somebody's. Ladies, any guy that wants you to Netflix and chill, don't see you as wifey material. Let's stop doing that. Let's stop doing that. Netflix and chill, you can do that with your girl. Smoke and drink, you can do that with your girl. You don't need to just call a dude over just because a blunt you can't afford. If you can't afford your habit, don't do it.
Thank
And
you.
I'm done.
All right. No, you're not. Last question. What would you say to any of the men listening? I told you I was gonna roll straight into the next question. When love Hillary Lee, what would you say to any of the men listening? Any of the men, any of the boys, those who will grow up to be the husbands of the daughters that we have? What would you say to any of them that may be listening, or even run across this at some point? Did you hear it? I got the question typed up right underneath as well.
All right, what would we say to the men or to the
Yes.
boys coming up?
Yes.
Okay, I would say find your own way. A real man stands on his own. You
Mm.
really don't need a crowd. A real man does. A real man will stand on his own. He don't need a whole crowd. To find himself. Um, Listen to that feminine energy via mother or girlfriend, because sometimes we'll be right. Sometimes, I'm not saying all the times we got all the answers, but sometimes we are right. We are natural nurturers, teachers, educators. That's what we do. That's what we're born with. So sometimes, just listen to us. We won't tell you nothing to hurt you.
That's all I got for 'em.
Okay. I'm gonna get you last, Mr. Sigmuno.
Um, I would say to them, go get some help. It's okay to go to therapy. My black, you can especially with you, it's okay to get some therapy because we have a lot of lingering trauma from our ancestor that generation curse hasn't been broken. Take that anger out, brother. You'll be more successful in life. Take care of your health too. Take care of your health. Drink some water. And y'all need to go to the doctor. Your girlfriend going to the doctor is not a way to know if you're physically okay. Because apparently you guys don't go to the doctor. Your girlfriend go to the doctor. How I know that? Because I know that. Okay? Being with her for 6 years, her organ's not your organ. Just because you STD free doesn't mean like other things are not broken. And just so y'all know, men when they get older, they become babies, their body broken. Take care of your body so your body can take care of you. Because I'm big on health. Meditate. Put some of the rap music down. Go read a book. All that bitch fuck. You can't respect women like that. Go heal the mama issue that you have in you. And 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 give each other accountability so you can grow. Tell your brother, yo, don't do that to her. She don't deserve that. Be honest, be authentic. And stop being manipulative to get your way into people. It doesn't work. All love though.
Mr. Sigma Uno. What would you say to any men or boys listening?
Gentlemen.
Everybody, beat your mics. It's about to go down.
It's not. It's. I'm gonna do this in the simplest form possible.
Shut the fuck up.
No. If you were raised in a household with a single parent, you know what your mother needed. You know what your mother wished she had, right? If you've got a sister, you know exactly what you didn't want, whoever your homeboy or the upperclassman or whatever that was. Mm-hmm. I'm going to need you to treat this woman that you are trying to partner with like you wish your mother was treated, how you wish your sister was treated, like it was your daughter. Mm-hmm. Okay? If you don't want them to do this to your daughter, your child, don't do it to somebody else's.
Yeah, well.
Just don't. I mean, because the reality of the situation is the tone that you set for your household as the man is what your daughter is going to lean towards. That's what she's going to know is familiar. So if you want your daughter to be in dysfunction, go ahead and stay in dysfunction and not communicate. And go ahead and, for the sake of argument, go ahead. Hook up with the ratchet chick. Okay? And now you got your chick and your daughter running around here looking crazy, and you're wondering why your daughter is unruly. Don't wonder why your daughter is unruly. You hooked up with unruly and replicated it and put your DNA into it. I'm going to need you to think about your future and what your future to look like. If you cannot manifest that future on your own and you see a partner is needed for that, i.e. to make children, to further your bloodline, to further your legacy or whatever that is for you, I'm going to need you to make sure your calling and election is sure. Make sure that you are who you need to be, just like she needs to be who she needs to be. But you got the picker, okay? You got the picker. So make sure you're picking the one that's going to complement you and further whatever the goal is that you have for your life. Because again, your life is a business. If you have not taken self-inventory to see what you have to offer towards the future that you want to have, then you need to go back and you need to put in some orders. You need to put in some meditation. You need to put in some time to make sure you are a complete, total 100% person. And if you're not 100% and you are that 85 working on that 15% to get yourself right, yes, by all means, you can take that person with you on that ride. But if you are not a 100% person or working towards that 100% person and you are not over 80%, I'm going to need you to be over 80% of a person before you decide you want to add somebody else into your program. Because if you are just barely making 50%, You could not expect anybody that you hook up with to cover your other 50% because they have to be 100% person. And if you procreate, they have to be 100% person for that child as well. They are not going to have 300% to fill in the percent that you're missing and raise a child at the same time. And you cannot expect that as not that is realistic. That is not realistic at all. So you're setting yourself for argument. You're setting yourself up for headaches. You're setting yourself up for disappointments that are unnecessary because you're expecting something that's not real. Be a real, authentic individual. If you are perpetrating a fraud before you get out there and you wondering why you're attracting something that's not quite meeting it, you got to look at what you're putting out there. That goes for you and for her. But since you're picking, again, you're going to attract what you put out there. So you put out, you're seeking the one night and the ratchet thing, all the ratchet is going to come your way. You will have a plethora of that, and you will not be able to pick what you want out of that because it will not be there. Talk to yourself. For real, talk to yourself. If you sound ridiculous talking to you, that's what you sound like talking to somebody else. Really sit down and get your thoughts together so that you are putting out what you are. It's the law of attraction. If you put it out there, again, be very, very, very particular what you put out there. If you are, again, I'm one that if you need to pray, and I told my brother this, you have to pray for exactly what you're looking for. Don't leave anything out. Everything is important. Everything is important. Okay? Down to the way she breathes. Man. Down to the way she chews gum. For real. If she's popping that gum and that's an irritant for you for whatever reason, because your little sister did it, whatever it is, then you know that's something that, if you meet her and she's popping that gum, it's great to start a relationship with. But remember, she was popping that gum when you met her. So 20 years down the line, when she's still popping that gum, don't.
And we're actually talking about gum right now, right?
We are talking.
Okay, I was about to say, 20 years down the line, she's still popping that gum. I'm gonna love it.
Bless your heart. Bless your heart. Again, put out the energy that you want to receive. If that's not what you were looking to receive, do not put it out there. If you don't want somebody who's combative, don't come at them combative. Especially if she is a person of her word and her will and her family has made her that way, because then you got a whole lot more to deal with. Because I guarantee you, her brother is not going to have it, and her daddy is going to talk to you. And for whatever reason, when dad talks to you, that talking don't never happen. Something always transpires.
I beg to be different.
And again, I say to you, sir, as long as you are putting out there an example to what you want your daughter to look for, what she finds as a norm in society, then I pray that you never have to have that conversation with the young man knocking on the door after something has transpired, right? Luckily, your daughter has a brother that might cut that off at the pass before it even gets to you. So again, what you put out there as a father, as an uncle, as a male representative in a female's life around you is very, very important. So don't be thug life with the homeboys and then try to be Mr. Get You Right in the next, and you've got the same people looking at you doing the same thing. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. All of them. You need to pick the you that you are going to be, and you need to do that to the fullest. Period.
Respect. Now, with it, we'll let the wife close this one out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What would you say to any men listening?
I would say do not take too much stock in what you're seeing in people. I would say that,
Explain that a little bit.
especially for our Black men, I'm going to go there. It's not true that we do not trust you guys to lead. It's not true that you are unloved. It is not true that we think that you guys are incapable. None of that stuff is true. You guys are all widely loved. You guys are all widely supported. The issue is you have to say that you need the support because we're not mind readers. None of us have an issue loving and supporting you through whatever you're going through. It just needs to be talked about. And then you have to take that step to be brave and be vulnerable. And there are women out here that will not hesitate to take that step with you. And with that, it goes to therapy. You don't have to talk to me. If it's a worry of what's going on in the media world, you can't say that to a woman because she'll throw it back at your face. Whatever the excuse is, your therapist can't excuse that. Whatever the excuse is, go to therapy. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be a woman. You can find another man. So you have options now in therapy. It has grown. You can find another Black man to help you, somebody who will understand your experiences, whether it's if you're having issues with navigating race or your pride is getting in the way a lot of the time, or you're struggling with your masculinity. Anything that you're going through, really, that there's somebody to help you. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And asking for help doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you less of a man. So just get the help. Try to be the best you that you can be before adding anybody into the mix. That's it.
Oh, but hey, so what I usually do is at the end of the episode, I like to do a gratitude and what you learned. I know that time is getting crunched, and I don't know how much time y'all have left. If y'all are down for doing the gratitude and what you learned, give me a thumbs up. If not, we can go ahead and close this. What do you say? What about you, Love Hillary? Thumb up or thumb down?
Up.
I see yours.
Oh.
We Love Hillary. You want to do a gratitude and what? I'm gonna go ahead and have you do yours. So
Okay.
gratitude and what you learned, Lexi.
Gratitude. I've learned that the women here today was very nice and pleasant. Thank you, ladies. I really enjoyed myself. I felt comfortable here with you guys today. I've learned that as a whole, we do love our Black men. We really do. We want to support y'all. We want to nurture y'all. We want to be here for y'all. I did learn that all of us women are on the same page as far as what we all think what marriage material is, whether we single, married or not, or just trying to find it.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you all for what you said and everything.
Thank you for joining us. One Love Hillary, gratitude and what you learned.
I am very, very grateful. The two ladies, and especially your wife, you guys are very, very wise, informative. I learned a lot too. I learned to be a little bit less hard on people, because you got to give them chances. I learned as much as I want to give people accountability based on what the woman said is I have to be willing and not be come off judgmental, because if I'm not willing to help them, I should shut my mouth. So the more I give them accountability, I need to double that with helping them and have a more understanding of them in their current situation where they are in life. Mm-hmm. And I also learned just because I'm healing and I work in my health a lot doesn't mean I shouldn't have as much patience for other people that are struggling in that department. Also, I learned that one thing I learned, because she wasn't there when I was talking, when you guys got caught up, I'm legally separated. Another thing I learned that maybe I was selfish in my marriage, and that's a big one for me because I didn't take accountability. I learned that I was a bit selfish. I learned that I didn't fight as hard because I kind of gave up because I think he struggled from getting healing. But I also learned that I can only bring a horse to the water. I can't force them to drink it. So I forgive myself on that side. And I learned in order to keep a long-term marriage, communication is huge, respect, listening to your partner, being a team player, and not making decisions without your spouse ever. Okay, it could be simple as going on a trip with your girl. And I learned in a community there's more love than we are aware of. And I love this dynamic right here because we all came from different branches, different cultures. But I feel like overall we're still trying to make a huge difference. And I feel like we did what we were supposed to do, each one teach one. And I love my black people.
Respect. Mrs. Signal, gratitude and what you learned.
I'm always grateful for the platform. I learned that as women, it's not as bad as I thought. There are some out there that have common sense because they learned it, whether it be by example or trial and error, they got the lesson. I am eternally grateful. I'm eternally grateful. There is hope for the future. There are more examples out there of for lack of a better phrase, virtuous women who got some sense that can teach you virtue, that can teach you to be humble, that can teach you, not just teach you by telling you, but can be living examples that a ratchet is not the going thing. I am eternally grateful for that. I have hope.
Respect. And big gratitude and what you learned. And then I'm gonna close it out.
Okay. Gratitude. I feel grateful for being able to actually be on the podcast. I struggle with that. I have taken a deep dive. I am not the camera person nor the technology person. I don't enjoy it at all. Okay, but you guys have made this a pleasant experience. So I'm grateful for that. What I learned is that there is, I know, I'm trying to pull it together.
Rhetorical question.
There is great value in women that know themselves, that actually truly know themselves, and despite what the media puts out there, the women that know themselves, they are the gem. They're the prize, and they're out there. They're like trying to make it seem like it's non-existent. but they're out there. We're the jewels. We enhance the kingdom.
We enhance the kingdom. Yes.
And it's nice to know that there are other like-minded women out there. So that's what I'm doing.
All right. So with that, this is another episode of Divine Time. I thank all of y'all for jumping in. Ladies, stand by once we go ahead and do this. I have to talk with y'all offline as well. So with that, relax your mind. It is Divine Time.
The joy